All right. What is going on, everybody, on YouTube? Griffin here, just coming back to y'all with another live stream today while we go ahead and get back to doing a little bit more office work today. First thing I actually wanted to kind of pull up and show for you guys, if you happen to catch our live stream, what was it, like maybe 2 or 3 days ago roughly? Was today Wednesday? I think it might have been Sunday or Monday. Either way, I noticed a problem while we were going across Local Falcon with specifically our, if you don't know what Local Falcon is, it's a local SEO tool available there. It's somewhere around like $20 a month, roughly $25 a month, a little bit cheaper than Bright Local we found, and actually offers a lot more credits. Oops. I would be getting a business phone call right now. I will have to get back to her in just a little bit. She's just I already know exactly who that is. She's just updating her payment information because today is that monthly payment day for us, for our customers that pay monthly. And anytime a payment declines, it's usually straightforward business. You just gotta, shoot a text, and chances are their card's been hacked or it expired, something of that nature. But yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit this afternoon. But what we were talking about with Local Falcon is, like I said, it's a little bit cheaper than Bright Local specifically, and I'm not like affiliated with them or anything like that. It's just another tool that I like to use. They offer you a lot more credits to use for checking out, where your business ranks in X mile radius. You could do a 1 mile radius. You could do a 3 mile radius, 5, 10, 20, 50, however many you want, and give you guys an idea of what we were looking at. Like I said, it was either Sunday or Monday. We can pull it up here. They have what's called trend reports, where you can actually see kind of how everything is tracking. And let's see, get this pulled up here. I think my wife noticed that missed call as well. She just texted me. Oh no, that was about something else. And by the way, with these live streams, of course, if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to let me know. It doesn't have to be about what I'm talking about necessarily, unless if, of course, you have a question about that. What we noticed was of course, we had a spike. This is not what we're looking at. Average rank position is what we always keep track of the most. This is good. This gives you an idea in terms of, your percentage, I guess, in terms of where you are ranking on your graph, and I'll kind of explain that more in a minute. But the most important thing is, where are we at the top, and where is our overall average rank per point on the map? And like I said, I'll pull up the map here in a second to show you guys. But you can see here, we spiked after getting a couple new reviews, continuing to just do our ongoing, local SEO that we do. We jumped from an average of, right around 5 to 6, all the way up to 4, which is very good. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, within 5 days, we tanked all the way down below 8. And I noticed that while we were actually live. So it was the 12th, so that would have been, Sunday evening was when we went live. And I noticed that, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I know there had been a Google algorithm update for the Google search side of things, but not from a map pack side of things. And we were looking literally live. I did all this live in our live stream the other night, and I noticed there wasn't really anything in terms of updates outside of adding so you can now add your social media to your business profile. Very easy. And what we mean by that is if you pull up, our business profile, and you scroll down here on this right hand side, you will see eventually, there we go, your social media profiles. And there's like 6 of them total. It kind of alternates, which ones they show. It'll show, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, whichever ones you put in there. I believe there's also, Facebook, Twitter. There might even be one other one I'm missing. I think you can add your Pinterest technically. We were having an issue with Pinterest, so we just skipped over it. We got pretty much all the important ones, if nothing else. But that was the main update as for the Google Business Profile, which I definitely suggest you guys take advantage of that and go ahead and link those. You always want to do what anything that's new that Google's throwing out there, definitely always take advantage of it and, fill it up, of course. But other than that, we didn't really find anything that, in terms of Google's fault per se that would have explained this huge drop in our rankings, and it was bad. Like we said, everything just tanked. And then I noticed, well, we added another category to our listing. We added lawn to our categories, to our subcategories. So I was like, you know what? That's the only thing that has changed recently. Let me go ahead and remove that category from my business listing and just see what happens. And we noticed almost immediately, look here, same day. This was all while we were live on the 12th. All of these scans right here were while we were live. You can see almost immediately we started recovering. And then by the end of the evening, it kind of tapered off, not a lot of changes, but we had already recovered an average of 2 spots within like 1 to 2 hours of making that edit. And as of this morning, we have almost gotten all the way back up. We're past again where we were when we plateaued before our most recent reviews. And we've now gone past that, and we're slowly but surely heading back up to the number 4. And I'll probably even do another scan while we're live here today because I ran this morning. But just to give you guys an idea, I should be able to show you those scans. So this here is the scan from this morning. This was around 9 o'clock this morning, roughly. And you can see here, if you watch that live stream Sunday, you can tell this is a totally different grid than what we had going on Sunday night. Because I was even calling out these further out spots. I was like, I remember this was like around a 4, which it is now again. And I think it was somewhere around like 10 to 15 that night on Sunday. So a lot of things are slowly but surely getting back to normal. We've lost pretty much all of the 20 pluses. There's still a couple that are hanging on, but those will eventually go away. It just goes to show that, you really, really, really have to stay on top of your SEO. And if you're wondering what is SEO, that was also something we talked about briefly, just to give anyone a quick breakdown on what SEO is. It just means search optimization, search engine optimization. It applies to everything. Most people are referring to Google whenever they're referring to SEO, but SEO can apply to literally anything. There's YouTube SEO, there's Instagram SEO, Facebook SEO, Google SEO, what is it, Amazon, Bing, or whatever, SEO. I mean, there's SEO for everything. So don't overcomplicate it. It's just an acronym, essentially. I think that's the word I'm looking for search engine optimization. How's it going there, King Matt? But yeah, a lot of people, especially in the service sector, pest control businesses, plumbing businesses, electricians, carpenters, construction workers, whatever type of quote unquote blue collar work. A lot of people don't really pay as much attention to this as they should. One, like reasons you should are pretty straightforward. It's free business. Google gives us this Google business profile listing for free. It's your only free avenue. I mean, of course, you could post on Facebook, post on Twitter, definitely take advantage of all of that. But let's be real. Are any of you just getting multiple calls per day from your Facebook profile, from your Instagram profile, things of that nature? Probably not. If you're like me and you're very active in like your local groups, sure, you probably do get some Facebook calls, maybe even some occasional next door calls, things of that nature. I'm glad I saw this guy's review pop up because that reminds me I need to call him back about a follow-up. But most of your business when it comes to us in the service sector is going to come from Google specifically. Of course, you have the advertising revenues avenues that you can go for, like Facebook ads, even Google ads, and all of that. But why would you do that when early on, whenever you're cash strapped, whenever you can take advantage of, using this free platform that Google gives you? And if you're wondering, where would people see the Google business profile if they're not searching for you? Let's stick with pest control, for example. If we just type in pest control service, Rowlett, Texas, where our company is located. Of course, you have your paid ads up at the top, the Google business, or not Google business profile, Google local services, which we do suggest you run as well. You have your Google ads, and then right below that, you have your Google Map Pack. This is where you can get so much business for free. It is ridiculous. And like this company right here, they don't even have their website listed on there. So they're depending on straight up phone calls for their business. Me personally, I like going ahead and having my everything on there, everything possible on there. They finally gave us our 3+ years in business badge, so that's cool to see. But that's what you're focusing on popping up on. And then of course after that you have your, all of the websites, which definitely takes a lot more work, and it's a long game in terms of it takes more time and updating your content and things of that nature. But yeah, even that, we're working on that every single day, practically, as well. Kind of off topic, but I was looking back at last night's Discord. Talked a lot about lizard marketing thoughts and what's the best way to scale fast. I'm waiting on the okay to start from the department. I'm assuming you meant the Department of Agriculture. So like I mentioned in that Discord chat last night, which if for anyone that will be tuning in or seeing this after the stream, we do have a Discord group chat that's totally free for you guys to join, along with like a Facebook group and things like that in my LinkTree down below in the description box, with like 200 plus, pushing 300 members in there. Feel free to join in, ask any questions. There's a lot of good, helpful people in there. Some people even further ahead of me, of course. But as for lizard marketing, like I mentioned in there, I'll kind of refer back to what I was kind of saying. I haven't used them personally. From what I understand, like I'm sure you've seen in that thread, they are not cheap, but they are the true definition, from what I have heard, of you get what you pay for. They have pest control businesses themselves. One of the owners, I believe, is Alan Draper. The other one, I believe, is Eric Bassett, if I recall, the guys from the Bug Bucks podcast. And they also own the Facebook group, the Bug Bucks community there. A little bit larger of a community than ours. They've had theirs open, I think. They've had their podcasts and whatnot up for like at least a few years now. I want to say even before I started my business. But yeah, I've heard... as far as I know, I want to say nothing but good things. I hate to use the word nothing but good things because, I don't want to just make it seem like there's no chance that it won't work for you, especially since I haven't used them or anything. But, yeah, I've heard pretty much nothing but good things. I haven't looked into them just because I'm not at that point where I need to hire that out. Plus, you're looking, it sounds like, at the minimum $2,000 to $3,000 per month. That doesn't include your ad spend, I believe. If one of them happened to see this either live or after the fact and I'm wrong on that, they can let me know down in the comments. I'm just going off of what I've heard other people say, as well as, people in our Discord group, what they have mentioned. So if I am wrong on that, they can definitely, shout it out, let me know, correct me. But from what I understand, it's at least, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And then, of course, you have your ad budget on top of that. So, with that, if you just break down the math, you need to be doing some pretty serious volume in terms of calls coming in to make that worth your money. Let's say, hypothetically, again, I always like to start with just like easy math. Let's say you're going to spend $2,000 a month on your advertising, because if you're willing to pay a company $2,000 to $3,000, you need to at least be able to match that dollar for dollar in terms of your ad budget. So think about that first and foremost. Are you willing to put a bare minimum $2,000 to $3,000 a month into your Google ads? I don't know if they manage Facebook ads, but just Google ads, for example. So let's say 2,000. So let's see, and just to give you some perspective. Let's say you're running that campaign, 22 days a month. That's just under $100 a day of ad spend. So 2,000 plus, let's just say 2,500. We'll split the middle of that 2,000 to 3,000 range. So you're spending $4,500 a month. From there, you just got to break down either A, what do I want for cost per acquisition? Or B, what do I want for cost per lead? Usually a lot of marketing companies, they are going to tell you, hey, when it comes to our efforts, we're just focused on kind of cost per lead, because the sell in terms of cost per acquisition, that's more on you, your sales team, than it is on us, the marketing company, right? If we are sending you 1,000 leads, right? In this example, you're paying what, $4 and change per lead, again, this is just hypothetical. Say you're paying $4.50 per lead. Again, you're not. This is just random math here. But you're only closing, something ridiculous, right? 20 of them, right? You're closing like 2% of those leads. That's obviously going to be seen as a problem. In that example, you're paying $4.50 per lead. However, 4,500 divided by 20 new customers, you're looking at $225 per customer acquisition. So to a lot of people, they're like, golly, man, that's high. And it's like, yes, that's a high cost per acquisition. But again, you were talking about, let me make sure I'm doing my math right. 20 divided by 1,000. You were looking at, a 2% conversion rate. So you kind of have to work out the math, figure out, okay, how much money do I have to set aside for marketing in the first place? Which, by the way, in my opinion, once you're getting to the level where you're even considering hiring a company at all, especially north of $2,000 a month on top of your ad spend, you should have the money in place to at least probably spread around $100 to $200 a day, in my opinion. And from my experience, as a matter of fact, even without having a company manage any of my marketing whatsoever, with Facebook ads, I'm always a little bit hesitant and light. So Facebook, I'll spend $10 to $30 a day. But when it comes to Google ads, where I have had known success at, I'm spending a bare minimum usually of $30 to $50 a day, all the way up to, one point, what was it? Not this past spring, but the spring before, I was spending like around $120, $150 a day. And we had some pretty good success. I have no idea what my dogs are barking at. Give me just a second. All right, sorry about that. My wife was home, and they always like to have a panic attack. Where were we at? Yeah, when it comes to like Google ads, ideally you want to be able to spend at least $50 to $100 a day. So, if you're looking at hiring a company, like I said, just work out the math, work out, what do you expect the cost per lead to be? Is there any contracts involved? Things of that nature, if that makes sense. So, me personally, for something like Google Ads, I'd prefer to keep the cost per lead no higher than 25. 25 anymore is a little bit unreasonable. I'd say, 30 to $50 ideally per lead. But, at the end of the day, what matters the most, like we talked about in a recent video about, cost per acquisition or cost per lead, we're focused on the cost per acquisition the most at the end of the day. So I'd be wanting to keep track of, the quality of the leads that are coming in. That's what we're doing right now with the company we're working with for our Facebook ads. We're focusing very heavy on, what are the quality of leads coming in versus, the quantity of leads. That's what I was talking to them about yesterday when they called me. I was like, yeah, I like that we're seeing leads coming in. However, I would rather get 2 good leads per day versus 20 good lead or 20 bad leads in a day. Like I was talking about in that video, it's wasting resources. It's wasting your time. Time is money at the end of the day. Which would you rather do? Would you rather have 20 phone calls or message threads, that 20 that are just bad and maybe one actually sells? Or would you rather have 2 very good conversations, and even if, out of the 2 only one goes, you're still getting the same one that you would have got had you had those 20, those other 19 time wasters, if that makes sense. And some people, don't get me wrong, I get it. Some people say, well, if nothing else, you're getting their contact information. You can hit them with email and remarketing campaign. Like, I get it. There's a time and place for those, what I like to call lower end campaigns. But whenever we're in a stage of growth where we're just trying to add accounts, I'm not worrying a whole hell of a lot about remarketing, because again, we only have so many resources, time, money, etc., in the early stages of business. How's it going, karate? Chick? Hey, random question. When you first started, were you a sole proprietorship or incorporated? Sole proprietor, just a single member LLC, which is still taxed as a sole proprietor. There's no reason to go incorporated until you're going to, in my opinion, this is how we structure the business from start to quote unquote finish, like where we're at right now. I opened the business. I went and got my LLC with my EIN and all of that. My first year, I was taxed as a sole proprietor because, again, the LLC, that has nothing to do with taxes or anything. That's just the structure of the business. When you're a single member LLC, you're taxed as a sole proprietor, like a contractor, self-employed person, essentially. And then once I got into where I was in the excess of $50,000 of profit per year, profit is the key word, not $50,000 in sales, $50,000 of net profit. That was when we got with our accountant and got the S corp documentation all sent in, so we'd be taxed as an S corp, which it can get complicated to explain. Pretty much the S corp does not get taxed. You get taxed as an employee of the company at that point, if that makes sense. I'm the 100% owner of the company. So whenever we fill everything out, I have to put I'm the 100%, I'm the only owner. However, I am an employee of the company, so I pay myself a reasonable salary for my position. That way you can get taxed less, and then the remaining profit gets passed through as a tax-free dividend, cash-free distributions, I think is what or tax-free, I forget the exact verbiage of it, but pretty much tax-free income at that point. Again, the main thing is have a good accountant, make sure that you are doing everything that needs to be done. You're going to be having to pay payroll tax and everything else. There's a lot that gets involved at that point, which is why a lot of them say, you should be doing at least $50,000 in profit. And profit, cannot stress that enough. Big difference between profit and sales. Gross profit, net profit, or net margins, than, just straight up sales. No, that's what the LLC was for. So Krychek said, did you worry about your assets as a sole proprietorship? No, because that's what the LLC is for. The LLC is what protects your assets, which is also why I like to rent and lease everything anyways in the first place as a business owner. I mean, we own our personal vehicle and things like that, but the homes that I stay in, I rent. I don't own houses or anything like that. And any asset that I will be buying will be going into an LLC. And eventually, once we have enough money to justify it and things like that, a trust as well, that it gets down a crazy above my pay grade, or not even above my pay grade, but above my knowledge, as someone else's job, essentially, to get all in place. But it is expensive to do. But yeah, no, as long, like I said, you're going to be, when you are a solo person, it doesn't matter if you go as an LLC, as a, a C Corp, I believe is another thing that you can, when you're like talking about being incorporated. All that is that's just, what you're registering the business as. You as an individual, or as long as you are a one-man operation, you're going to be taxed as a sole proprietor. Until, like we said, you set up, the S Corp in terms of, like I said, we're now an S Corp. That's what we're taxed as, is an S Corp, which means, the business itself doesn't get taxed. That those taxes are passed through, of course, to me as like the employee. So instead of being double taxed, having my income tax and then self-employed tax, I just now get taxed, as the employee. So, I'm telling the IRS that, a reasonable salary for me is going to be, I think this last year we put like 70,000 or something like that, maybe even less. I forget off the top of my head. I'd have to look at my documents and whatnot. So I paid my tax bracket amount on that, and then the rest was funneled through as, cash distributions, like tax-free distributions, essentially. Let's see, have you ever been sued? No, not yet. Keyword is not yet, because you own a business long enough, especially if you keep growing, you're gonna get sued eventually, gone to court for any. Yeah, no, I haven't had to do any of that yet. I am having to turn in my first collection to a collection, company or whatever, because somebody's trying to screw me out of like $125 or something like that, which, I mean, I'm not so worried about the money as much as the principle. Like, don't tell somebody you're going to pay them and sign it and everything. Give me half up front, and then just pretend that you're not getting our text messages, phone calls, anything like that. But yeah, in terms of like me, myself, the company, anything like that, being sued or anything, no, I haven't had to worry about that. And a lot of that, in all honesty, as long as you run what I like to call a too honest of a business, your odds of ever being sued are very slim. I had one guy, almost 2 years ago now, already, hard to believe, this coming February, where I thought for sure, I was like, man, he's probably going to try to get his money back. He's probably going to, sue me or whatever, take me to court, small claims court, or whatever the case may be, because he just... it was a horror. I thought I was going to get bad reviews, like everything from this guy. And sure enough, didn't get a bad review, didn't get sued, nothing. And there, he would have had no leg to stand on, but it was just going to be a giant headache. I was just, fast forwarding into, this monster issue that I thought was on the horizon. And sure enough, I think he knew he was wrong deep down, because, his wife was super nice whenever we had to go back out there once. And it was an exclusion job, of course. Exclusion jobs have been the worst in terms of like customers being, if I were to say there were one thing that customers just always seem to have an issue with, it's the exclusion service. I can lay it out in black and white as much as possible for them, and they'll still think that they're entitled to XYZ when they're entitled to ABC instead. And yeah, I'll tell you what, that's the joy. That's the joys of being in business. At the end of the day, is you get to deal with all sorts of characters. At the end of the day, but yeah, back to what we were kind of talking about briefly. I was trying to pull up the old report here. Okay, so this was the new one. This was as of this morning, and like I said, we're probably going to run another one, but I want to show you guys that. As of this morning, just see all the green that's starting to pop back up, and even the yellow. I don't like yellow. Green is what we're shooting for, of course. And if we go, let's go back. Should be able to filter it. Pest control service. And let's go back to the 12th, whenever we first started noticing these issues. Yeah, just look how everything dropped from the 7th to the 12th. 4, 12, 58 to 8.14, 9.8, 13. I mean, just watch this. Look at that. See how bad that got? So this is why, like I said, it's vital. Can you imagine if I hadn't checked this for another 2 to 4 weeks, or in some businesses' cases, ever? You know, like I just was sitting there scratching my head wondering, why have our calls dropped all of a sudden? We're not getting no business anymore outside of, right in our neighborhood in North Rowlett, essentially, right? This is why I stress to you guys, you guys, and I'm going to download it because I want to save that for, for like examples. Is there a way for me to actually like download it? No? Well, that's weird. Huh. Yeah, no, I want to keep these for like, to go back to just show people the importance of keeping up with this stuff. Let's run one right now, because it's been, about 6 hours now since I've ran this. And for future reference too, you don't need to run these this many times. One, I just never use my full credits, so I'm not going to have nothing to worry about. But two, whenever you have something go on like this, it's not a bad idea once or twice a day to check it until, things kind of get back to exactly where they were, if not, better. It's not looking like a whole lot has changed as for today from like this morning. If anything, we might even have slightly more yellow popping up. But overall, not a lot has really changed here since this morning. Got a couple of them we're still waiting on. Have you ever dealt with the crazies? They think they have bugs when they really don't. How did you handle it? I mean, more so when I was at Terminex, believe it or not. That's where, thankfully, when I was at Terminex, I would just hand it off to a manager and be done. As for me, I'm usually pretty good about, whenever we're selling, to filter those type of people out. One, with how we price it, and two, where was I going with that? Two, with just, the conversation that we have with them. We try to get very, very detailed, I guess, if that makes sense. I was trying to figure out what word I wanted to use. We get pretty detailed in terms of, what is the issue. Yeah, I figured some stuff may have actually gone down compared to this. Oh, wait a minute. What? This termite control. Oh, it's because I don't have my filter on. Duh. What was I saying? Bro, what? I'm so confused right now. It's showing one from 8:23. That makes no sense. But yeah, no, luckily, or not even luckily, because it was all done by design, but, we're very, very if I really wanted to, just to be completely honest, if I really, really wanted to, I could probably double, if not triple, our closing rate by just literally having no filter process, just literally selling everybody, right? But first thing we do whenever we answer the phone is we, figure out, one, is there a current issue? Because a lot of times people are just moving here, because so many people are moving to Texas right now. They're either going in a new build, moving into a home that they just purchased here. They're not having issues, they just want preventative. Easy. Those are the easy ones. But, assuming there's an issue, we go on from there. How long has this issue been going on? Where are you seeing the issue the most? Has anyone else came out to try to deal with this issue before? Have you tried to deal with the issue before, doing DIY stuff? We just try to pretty much like I compare it to like peeling an onion, essentially. You know, some are super easy, especially ones that have been on the, you know, on the grill or whatever, just peels right open real quick and easy. And then there's others that, you know, it's not a good one whatsoever, and just you start peeling and it starts trying to rip on you left and right. And those are the ones that we're just, poof, nope, we're not gonna, you know, deal with it. You know, we're gonna pass, essentially. You know, it's firing a customer before you have to fire a customer, ultimately. Which I think is why, you know, one, obviously we're growing slower than we probably could, but two, probably why we have nothing but 5-star reviews, just keeping it real. You know, we now have, again, over 100 nothing but 5-star reviews. We should have about 150, but Google playing their stupid little games, liking to hide reviews, delete reviews, this and that and the other at any moment. We're missing probably at least 30 to 40, maybe 50 reviews right now. And those would be 5 stars as well. But either way, we're at 101 5-star reviews. That doesn't include any other platform. That's just Google specifically. And that's because, you know, we are very thorough with explaining everything from the get-go and filtering out, you know, like you said, kind of those quote-unquote crazies. Now, are there still some where, like, we know every single time it's going to be inside-outside? Yes. Are there those ones every single time, you know, they're going to claim they're seeing something? Yes. Because they want you to, you know, do the inside every time, usually. But I haven't necessarily dealt with some that are, like, so crazy that, you know, I'm just like, you need to be in a mental institution or anything like that. Have you ever just walked away from a job that was almost impossible to complete? Yeah, mostly when it comes to that, it's rodent work primarily. I've had a couple of termite ones where I kind of priced myself out on purpose because they were going to be, you know, just monster headache type of jobs. Not to mention more risky. But most of the time it's rodents. You know, it's these older homes that, in all honesty, the amount of work that needs to be done, they would almost be better off to just knock the home over and rebuild. It sounds mean, but, you know, it is what it is when you've got, you know, holes everywhere in the home, outside the home. You all know what kind of homes I'm talking about, right? The ones where you're driving on the interstate and you look past it and it looks kind of, you're like, man, I hope nobody lives there. Like, you all know what type of homes that I'm talking about, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, those are primarily the ones, and I'm not rude or anything. I just tell them, you know, there's so much that needs to be done here. We can't really offer a seal-up solution. If you want, we can set up some traps, some rodent stations, things of that nature. But in terms of a rodent seal-up, you know, we're not going to be able to meet the standard that we would like to meet, unfortunately. And most of the time, they're pretty understanding because, you know, they've probably already had someone out there before, you know, checking things out, giving them a quote, and they've probably heard the same thing at least once or twice before. So, yeah. So, we got that taken care of. Is that your go-to to get out of the job? Is just increase the price? Not always. Like I said, sometimes I'll just be real with them about the situation and tell them that, you know, we're not going to be able to meet our expectation for their job. And if that's the case, then, you know, we just kind of go our separate ways. I'm making sure I'm logged in on all these. Yeah, next thing we're going to check is our Google Search Console. Check out some of the website stuff. Because that was another thing we were actually looking at on Sunday night. Was, like I mentioned, the algorithm update. Good God, this is loading slow. Oh, I bet it's because this is updating. Okay, yeah, it's updated now. Go ahead and get rid of that. Slow some stuff down. So, as expected, like I told you all, I was going to leave everything alone because that's always a suggestion after a algorithm update is to leave everything alone for about a month and just see if it kind of works itself out. I am interested that we are still getting a lot of impressions, even though, we are recovering. That's actually a good sign. We'll see if that keeps up or not. But, we went from, and again, this is for the average website. This isn't, my homepage, my service pages. Like, this is every page, blog posts, everything on the website, all 120 pages or more of the website. Is what it's factoring in here. We went from an average ranking of, low 40s to upper 30s, all the way down to 61 after the algorithm update. And now we're already back to, low 50s where, we'll be breaking, I would assume, the 40s in the coming days. It's not uncommon. This is why they say 30 days. Don't expect it just to, boom, recover overnight. You'll start to see some recovery, then it might dip, and then, kind of like a stock market chart, right? You'll see kind of some staircase action going on. But, if for some reason you haven't fully recovered and then some after a month, then at that point, start figuring out, going in here and figuring out, okay, what pages, what queries, first and foremost, are you showing up the worst under? Like, I shouldn't even be showing up for DeSoto, Texas, or Claiborne, Texas. Like, there's a lot in here that you don't really need to worry about, but also take a look at, what pages are showing up, one with the most impressions, but a combination of most impressions to worst position ratio. Like our standard mosquito control service, 175 impressions, average rank of 72. You can take a look at it overall and see, okay, has it been doing bad the whole time? Yes, it has. And it's actually done slightly better since the algorithm update, which is interesting, actually. But, if you want to, you can go mess with that page. Chances are I might, just because it is a service page, even though it's just a default service page. If you're wanting to bring your overall average up, that's where you can really start dissecting, what's going on. What I like to do is I always focus on the most important thing, which is, okay, which inquiries are giving us the most impressions? Pest control near me. Shocker. That's what we want to show up for, right? So pest control near me. And then from there, figure out what pages are showing up the most by filtering it to impressions. Pest control Richardson, Texas. We can take a look at that. And then look at here. So we were showing up pretty good for this search term, and then we just, bam, just got hammered, right? So we'll want to keep an eye on this page over the next month. You can already see it's been trying to recover almost, almost 10 spots in one day. So we'll see. This is usually minimum 1 to 2 days behind. We'll see what happens, come beginning of December. And if we need to make adjustments, we'll make adjustments. Always happens with algorithm updates. Is that your go? Oh, okay. I already answered that. I was just making sure that there weren't any new questions or anything in here. But yeah, this is a tool you guys definitely want to use because, one, it's free, but two, like we said, it can give you a good idea, a good pulse on, what pages on your website need to be addressed. See, like our Frisco page, it's been getting more impressions, and it almost looks like it's trying to turn up. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. Do you ever run into your old coworkers? Are they bitter? No. And I haven't taken any of their customers. That's the other thing too, is I live in the Dallas, Texas area, DFW. DFW alone is bigger in terms of population than, I forget how many states, quite a few states. So I don't have it hardly ever where I cross paths in terms of taking my old coworkers, customers, or anything like that. As a matter of fact, from time to time, I'll have some of my old coworkers reach out to me and be like, hey, I found out this customer's canceling because Terminix is screwing them on their price, like they're raising their price astronomically. I gave her your number, and she's gonna, give you a call just to, price around essentially. Because there's no shortage of customers down here. I mean, we have dozens of new neighborhoods going up by the day. I mean, you can ask my cousin and my brother, like people that I talk to almost every day. I mention almost daily. I'm like, wow, this was a field last week, and they already have roads poured, and they're throwing utility lines in and everything. Like, they are throwing stuff up like crazy down here. But I do run into my old coworkers to answer the first part of that question. One, I still talk to. I actually just talked to 3 of them earlier today. One of them actually started his own business like right up the road from me, like 5-10 miles north of me. 2 of the other ones I talked to, they still work at Terminex, and we still keep in touch. Like, we're cool. We hang out from time to time, watch football, things like that. Yeah, no, we have no issues with each other. Oh, this is for pest control near me. Sometimes it's not a bad idea, too, to just filter the overall page, especially, again, after an algorithm update. And this page right here is actually the Google Business Profile. This is another way you could keep up with like your Google Business Profile tracking, because of course wherever your website is showing up for that is going to also show up. That's where like your business is showing up. So like on the 15th, our average position was 1. That's great. Average position 1.5. That's great. And of course, that's why it has the most clicks out of everything. So, yeah, that's one little hack. Of course, you need some sort of tracking. We use CallRail for our tracking, but you could use anybody, of course. Let's see. I want to see how this page is doing. One hasn't dropped too much. What terms? Pest control, Murphy. See, like, why are we showing up for weed control? Maxwell, Texas. I don't even know where that is. But that's why we would show up so low. So like I said, guys, there's a lot that goes into, those rankings. Like Murphy, Texas, garbage company. Like, what? Why would we show up for that? Oops. I want to see pages. Let's see. What do you do better that your old company didn't? What do you do really that impresses, keeps customers? I mean, in all honesty, I kind of took Terminix's blueprint in terms of over communicating. That was one thing that I think I took from Terminix that a lot of companies, for whatever reason, do a horrible job of, is not communicating well. I get a lot of customers who tell me they were with XYZ company and they would just randomly show up when the customer had an issue they wanted addressed, but they had no idea the company was coming. Otherwise, they would have scheduled it where they would have been home. A lot of it is just communication. I mean, people underestimate the value of communication in this industry. You can almost never over communicate with your customer. So, we send a text out 1 to 2 days in advance for our schedule in terms of, we're going to be out between 8 to 10, 8 to 12, 9 to 12, whatever time frame you give them. And, we just ask in there if there's been any issues inside that need addressed, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll get everything taken care of for you. And that gives them the opportunity to think, oh, is there anything going on inside that I need to be home for? And then if it works for them, you do it. If not, you reschedule for another day. Like just little things that, sure, they may be an inconvenience for us because that gives the customer obviously an opportunity to reschedule. But that's where getting paid for the year up front or monthly billing comes in hand too, because say they want to roll out a month, worst case scenario, obviously, you already got paid for it. So you're kind of like, I don't really care when you go, as long as you do go at some point. Like, obviously, you don't want to get paid for the year and then, you're at the end of the year and you've only done 3 services, right? But I've never had that happen. But 2, it makes it where, a combination of how we do our payment along with the communication, I think that has been the great combination that people love. I hear a lot of times that people like either the monthly billing or yearly billing because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, easy to budget for, where when you charge per service, especially if you charge per service and you don't tell them that you're showing up, like imagine just somebody showing up and charging your card $150 out of the blue, right? Like a lot of people in America don't even have $400 to cover an emergency anymore. They don't even have $400 in cash in their bank account. So, and yes, of course, well, they could use a credit card, this and that and the other. You're missing the point. The point is people are tight on money, especially right now in this shit economy that we're dealing with. I've had more customers need to update payments and get back to me and charge me later, this and that, than ever before the last 2 to 3 months. So, the easier that you make their lives in terms of knowing when they're going to be charged, how much they're going to be charged, is out of sight, out of mind, easy to budget for. The easier you make the customer experience, the least amount of friction there is, the more likely, 1, you're going to earn their business, but 2, you're going to keep their business. Again, from my experience. I know you do most of your own SEO, excluding Facebook. Any that you've heard of for website or Google? In terms of companies, there is a guy that I do follow on YouTube. I think his website is like Chris Palmer. Yeah, I've been on his website once or twice. He has some SEO. I haven't used it. I'm not affiliated with him, anything like that. But he does have services that he offers. You can book a consultation with him. All that different stuff. He has all of his services listed here. He would be the guy more than likely that I would go to if I start having anyone do anything. I've been very tempted to start paying him for backlink services and things of that nature, because backlinks do matter for your website, and even I'm kind of starting to bump up against that wall to a certain degree where all of my on-page SEO is at 90 to 100. Everything I need to do is in place. Now it's just a matter of getting the backlinks and things of that nature to get us up to, page 1. At least that's what I believe. That's where, I may even book a consultation with him at some point just to, pick his brain a little bit, see if there's anything that he notices that, we should be doing. But I watch his YouTube channel and then I apply it. And he's been doing SEO for a very, very long time. And hopefully the stream's been doing all right for you guys as well. I see we got like 4 of you in here right now. Man, we got no likes. We've had 15 of you in here at some point, and we got no likes. Come on, guys. Do me a favor. If you're liking the stream so far, smash that thumbs up button. It really does help me. It helps the channel. It helps other people that may be looking to start a business, pest control business, things of that nature. Find the channel, find the streams, all that good stuff. So if you do me a solid and smash that thumbs up button, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, our contact page, it cracks me up, man. So your pages that have like very little to no, just to give you an idea, let's pull this page up really quick. Watch this. Look at this basic ass page. Cry Chick said, just did. Thanks for your info. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. So look how basic this page is. It doesn't even have my right contact form anymore. I need to update the form on here. But look at this. Basic contact us page. There's nothing on this page, guys. Nothing in terms of, I mean, you got the word pest, termite, rodent, that kind of thing. But that's not even a header. The header is just contact us, and that's it. There's nothing else on that. This is our footer down here. And there's nothing on this page, but look at how many impressions it gets in the average position that it's popping up for. I mean, it's top of page 1. It's insanity. For pest control, critter removal, animal removal. I don't know why I'm popping up for pest supplies. Flea and tick. Don't know why I'm popping up for that. Pest control for home. Pest shop, tick control, tick prevention, mosquito control, bed bug, roach. Like we're popping up for a lot of stuff on here that like are good search terms. Some of them not, obviously, but you know, and then oddly enough, you know, something that's somewhat close to my company name is like the worst thing that we're showing up for. It's just funny to me. It's funny. And I mean, it gets us clicks. I mean, I get about, you know, up until recently, I was getting about one contact form, at least 1 or 2 a month early on. Like I said, I haven't lately, but you can still see in terms of overall SEO, it's still showing up towards the top whenever it does show up with like no content on it. It's hilarious. Make sure our enhancements are working properly. FAQs. FAQs are all popping up, not invalid. Videos. And if you want to know, by the way, you know, in terms of your backlinks, all you have to do is scroll down here to links. And you can see external links total. That means we have 97 total backlinks. It'll show you which pages are like linked the most. Your internal links, like you can see everything in here that you need to see. You know, you can pull up, you know, what are the top linking sites, which ones they, you know, target. I mean, there's a lot of good information on here in terms of like just free information about your website because it's from Google. Like they're the ones that are gonna have all of your information on your website. How's it going? Positive vibes. DIY. Let's go. Let's see. I keep a list on like my Google Calendar now because I always have just so much shit going on, especially during the holidays. This is kind of like how I kind of structure everything. I don't know if it's popping up well for you guys, but just to give you an idea of kind of how I, you know, structure stuff. So let's see. I need to get a podcast up for you all tomorrow, which was supposed to go out Monday, but got busy. We did a live Sunday night, so that kind of took place of the podcast, but we are going to have a podcast up tomorrow for you all. Let's see. Create content. That's pretty much, I mean, I have to check and pay some credit cards, but obviously I'm not going to do that while live. Let's see. Yeah, we're pretty much at just create content for the pest control page and set up email marketing. So we're looking at using MailChimp. Chimp is probably what we're going to use. They do have a free trial as well. I haven't decided yet which one I want to use. I think I'm just going to use the standard. It's free for a month, and then I think like $20 a month, if I recall. 500. Yeah, I'd probably say 500. You know what? Just to be on the safe side, I'll say 1,500. So that'd be $45 a month going forward. Or $20 a month, so we'd probably start out with the 500. And how I figure that is I just go to Gorilla Desk, hit your customers tab, and then you can see where it says customers without a job, or it's something like 300, maybe 320 and change, something like that. And then the cool thing is you can, of course, any customers who have also just submitted a lead form, you can do retargeting campaigns as well. So 6,000 emails, so that'd be 20 emails. If you maxed out the 500 contacts, you could send 20 emails per month to those contacts. 5 different audiences, that's good to know. Yeah, this is the one I'm probably going to do. I think this is the one they also, SMS. So if you got just the essentials, you'd have to essentially add on the SMS, which is pretty much the point of going to the standard. So yeah, we're probably going to end up going with this one. I'll definitely keep you guys in the know of how everything works with it. Might even do some tutorial videos or something, depending on how difficult it is. So I saw too that they have AI features added too. So yeah, I'm interested to see how everything works. I don't know if that is on here. Generative AI features, no additional cost add-on. That's what I like to hear. Just seeing if there's anything. Yeah, so the standard should be all that we need. I feel like this premium one is for if you are a marketing company specifically, then you'd want to go ahead and go with that. But this one here probably work fine for us. And then let's see. I'll go ahead and exit off that. In terms of what we've been in the process of doing lately is pages, yeah. So what we've been in the process of doing, and I've been doing this for a while now, is converting our posts that aren't really helping us whatsoever in terms of SEO because they're kind of just out on their own, and converting them to pages under the silo structure of the right page. For example, let's say this page here, is pest control worth it? Is pest control worth it? I could recreate this article and put it under, any service location page that I want to. So let's just go with this one, for example. So this one's about Dallas. Okay, that's good to know. So what I'll do is I'll go over here and click add new page. And we're pretty much going to copy and paste everything. And you all can go ahead and keep asking questions. I'm going to go full screen because it makes it a little bit easier. And then I always like to add a cover. And then just the same thing. Man, keep doing it. Change that to a H1. Come on. And now, all that we need to do I'm going to have to do this. We'll copy all this first. And there's a quicker way to do this. You could technically just hit copy each block. But see, I don't want to, because we have some stuff there that we do not need. So we copied all 32 blocks, which my face is probably blocking that. And then we will paste it in there. Uh-oh. We missed some. Let's see whether you're dealing with a pest problem. So this one. Copy it again. Paste. See if there's anything else. And if you're wondering why are you having to do it like this, because as you can see how it says new page versus post. We don't want this as a post. We want it as an actual page because we're not a blog. And I'll show you guys the reasoning for that. Yeah, this was all fucked up. Yeah, this was for the Q&A block, which is no longer active on here. So we'll do a conclusion. Copy. Was there more? Oh, just the reviews. So then we'll do this. And then we had a Q&A right here. And then we'll go back to where the questions were. Oh, are you not going to let me copy it? No. Let me see. No way. Come on now. Let me at least copy the text. That's stupid. Let's see. I might, you know what I'll do? We'll do some cheating here. What's the latest update on FBI? Oh, FBI. I read your thing now, like FB, and I just saw AI. FB, Facebook SEO AI. So I'll have an overall update probably just after Thanksgiving, going into December. Let's see, when does December start? That'll be a Friday. So yeah, I'll probably do like a live sometime between the 1st and 3rd for you guys. About just kind of, because at that point, yeah, I mean, I'll have more than enough data. We'll have another week. We'll pause it a few days, and then a whole nother week. So yeah, by then I'll have enough data to give like an honest opinion on it. But it's still definitely a work in progress. What's going on there, Freddie? Go over here to Chat GPT. Back down. See what ChatGPT has to say. Damn, boy, I don't need that many. How can Dallas residents get in touch? Let's see. Let's go from here. Someone climb his breeding ground for various pests like mosquitoes, termites, rodents. Call professional pest control is essential. This is literally what goes into this. This is the boring stuff that no one likes to do. But what separates the average from the great is doing what you know needs to be done. Yeah, we can go ahead and use that one. That's plenty of Q&As. Oh, it's updating the post date. Oh well. And let's see, want to do a quick skim, make sure everything is, make sure this is in here right. Full width. So, oh, you know what I need to do? Go in here. Hopefully the stream's keeping up too. So we got a couple of y'all tuning in. So we got a couple likes. If you haven't already liked the stream, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. Helps other people, of course, find the channel. Oh yeah, go ahead and close that. Let's see. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Gotta go down here. Where is the customize? Oops, not widgets. Menus. The hell? Add that to our menu. As well as our primary. Wish they made this a little bit easier. See, like, man, allow me to... so annoying. it to say Pest Control Dallas either. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to say there's a way that I can name it. There we go. Publish. Back. Oops. I'm going to have to do it for that too. Where'd it go? There we go. Actually, let's say Dallas again. That's for our footer menu. Let's see. So that should be right now. And then underneath this, there we go, Dallas. So we want to hyperlink it to this post in the Dallas, Dallas, Texas link. Don't need to link the contact us because we do not want to cross link. We do not want to link this termite page. We do not want to link this commercial one. Now we can always come back in here after I create our Dallas, termite, commercial pest, commercial pest, all these links. I can always come back in and re-hyperlink them. But the last thing I want to do is cross link, because we want a silo structure. And then what I also want to add is actually I was like to get a look at what we got. Introduction. Matter of fact, what I'll do, I'll copy that, delete, come on. Where are you at? I should be able to add a block, damn it. Let's just do it this way, I guess. Oh, what the hell? Is it the wrong form? Why is it showing the light one? Try this again. Bro, what the fuck? Oh, they must be mixed up. Let's try this one more time. Backgrounds? I'm gonna lose it. This is what I was actually referring to on a previous stream. For some reason, the font colors keep getting mixed up, and it is bugging the hell out of me. They are freaking all white. Like, bro, I only need the white ones for dark backgrounds. That's why I made 2 separate forms. Oh boy. But that one's showing up right. That makes no sense, man. That is annoying. I don't like that. There we go. It's a little better. The preview. There we go. That's better. And then for the SEO side of things, go to the top. Is pest control worth it? Is pest control worth it in Dallas? Pest control in Dallas. Oops. Edit that. Come on. Description ain't that important. Just have it auto do one. Video. Oh. Article. Oh yeah, forgot. I also need to go in here. This is the important part right here for your silo structure. Parent attributes. And then from there, we're going to set it up under the Pest Control Dallas, Texas page. So in terms of a silo structure, at the very top, we're going to have, of course, the home page is at the very, very top. But then under that, you have our Pest Control Dallas service location page. And then one step under that, you're going to have this new article, is pest control worth it in Dallas? So you're linking up to the most important page that you're trying to rank, of course. And then from there, we're ready to publish. So keeping that in mind, that again, we recreated this entire new article that was a post. What we also need to do is we need to copy that link, go back into that old post. We're going to take that post, we're going to trash it, And it even tells us here, previous published post has been removed. You need to add a redirect. So we're going to go into add a redirect. Exact to this new link. And this is the link here. See, it's underneath pest control / pest control Dallas, Texas / is pest control worth it in Dallas. And then we want that as a permanent move. Activate it now. Add redirect. And then there we go. We just set up the redirect. And you can see here, some of these have had a lot of hits on the redirect. This one I just did last night. Both of these actually. And they've already got a couple hits. So, yeah, that's one thing you definitely want to make sure to do whenever you're going through. If you had, this is for those of you that like accidentally set it up wrong and you have a post section instead of pages structured under the page, if that makes sense. And then from there we can just go in here and permanently delete it because we don't need it anymore. So we still have 44 that we're gonna have to end up getting done. I had, of course, like 100 and something of these, and I've just been, whenever I have time, going through, you know, week by week and getting 2 here, 5 here, 10 here, 1 here, like just slowly but surely knocking them out week by week, getting them reposted and published the right way. And then what I also like to do is go in here and do this. And Google's going to say they have no idea that this page exists. So then we're going to hit request index, which technically the plugin, the SEO plugin that I use does this for me, but I always like to do it just to be on the safe side because, you know, like Ronald Reagan said, I think it was Ronald Reagan. What was he saying? Trust but verify. You know, always verify. You know, if I know that I did it, then I know for a fact that it's been submitted. So, yeah, that's one example of how we do that. And then from there, you know, you all could literally see this page right now if you wanted to. This is the quick page that we made up real quick. We actually made it look a little bit better, in my opinion, as well. Adding proper photo placement with the columns. You know, probably could use another photo in this body of text, but we even added a proper FAQ, conclusion, you know, everything that you need. And we got our hyperlink early on to link up to the Dallas, Texas page as well. And then there's your silo structure. Home page, service location page, and then your article piece under it. Topical authority is what some people call it. Oh, it's already 3:24. And like I said too, hopefully the live stream has been cooperating for you guys. See, we still got a couple of you tuning in right now. I'm sure more people will see the stream as well once some of y'all start getting off work and whatnot. But yeah, no, I think that's probably going to wrap it up. I know my wife will be back from picking up my daughter here actually any minute now. So I'll probably go ahead and wrap today's stream up. Like I said, we will be having a podcast episode going out tomorrow for you guys. So be sure to check that out on whatever podcast platform you listen to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Man, there's a bunch of them anymore, dozens. We're on pretty much every single one. So whatever podcast platform you use, we should be on. And like I said, we should have another episode going out for you all tomorrow. I totally forgot what the topic is even about, to be honest. But as always, I'll post it in Discord and Facebook whenever it goes live. But hopefully you all enjoyed the stream. Like I said, if you haven't already, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe below so you won't miss our next live stream or any other future videos. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.